All right, we are live. We should be able to hear me if my testing prior to. Excellent. Everybody say hi. Aha. Okay. I cannot hear you guys. That's a new one. Let's see. I saw it. Where'd it go? All right. Let's try that again. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. I was muted because I have
There we
Discord
go.
push to talk on.
That worked. So testing to see if Sirenscape is working. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. My life issues have not been resolved, but I wanted to get back to playing before I lost all my players. So we will attempt for the next several weeks. And if I have to make another hiatus, I will do so. But for now, we are back in action. So let's see if we can hear Soundscape. Cool. All right. So I know you all watched the stream, so you remember everything that happened just like it was yesterday. But let's
Yeah,
take a look.
definitely.
Let's take a look at the message of the day. Do
Mm.
want to say again thank you to Nick for his jumping in and doing the his campaign of awesomeness. So we were able to play a little bit over the last couple months, so that was nice. Uh, so speaking of Nick,
It was
is
nice.
you are connected to EA, so go ahead and
Yep.
would you read or summarize the message of the day for us?
All right. Over our last several sessions, we rented a couple of carpets and a broom and went to investigate a floating fortress in the sky. Went there, saw, saw the sights, kicked butt, took names, destroyed multiple doors. Ended up killing the cloud giant and hill giants and ogres in there, getting a new pet. In John's case, um, and realized that
Griffin A.
after we killed
Ravenclaw.
everything, yep, after we killed all the stuff, that the fortress was falling out of the sky. So we quickly got off, rested on a beach, fought some stuff from the ocean and some birds from the, uh, from the forest. Leveled up, managed to make our way back to the actual coastline, and at the end of I think the last session, we made it our way to Candlekeep. I think that's a quick summary. I'm sure I'm missing a fair amount of details, but if you want to know, you can just go watch the previous vids.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So you guys have landed. You secured the Griffin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I managed to convince the Griffin to come along for a ride, so. With copious amounts of giant leg meat, which we're not going to talk about.
There it is.
It's not cannibalism.
I mean, let's be real though, he did have some thick thighs, just saying.
All right. So you guys had talked about how to enter Candlekeep and what's involved with that. But before we get into that, I wanted to take a quick moment. I did this Sunday, and I thought it was helpful. So I want to do a quick, go ahead and everybody give me a percentile, please. Take a quick look behind the scenes for a moment. 1, 2, 3. Who are we missing? Gimbal. All right, so that's
The
exactly
wider spread than last time, but
exactly in order. So we're gonna start with Genesis. So played by Amantha. Tell us a little bit about um, Genesis. What just the basics first: race, full name, class, background.
yeah, Genesis Stillwater is she's a multi-class bard cleric. She's a half elf. And she's a artisan, so she actually kind of grew up with her family making all kinds of instruments. And she kind of specializes in making wooden instruments.
Okay. And looking at your skills page, where do you have you focused your skills, and which ones do you find yourself using more than others?
Well, to be honest, she's kind of a jack of all trades. In that, as a bard, she does have jack of all trades, but she also has like a billion skill proficiencies. In particular, her charisma-based ones, performance, persuasion, deception, are all pretty good. And her wisdom-based ones, so survival, insight, and animal handling. Which, as a nature cleric, kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Very nice. All right. Tusk, starting with the same question. What is your name, full name, rank, a class, race, and background?
All right. Well, Tusk, his name is Tusk. He doesn't really have a last name, but he is of the, or he hasn't never had to actually give a last name, so, but he is of the Strong Axe clan, Orc clan to the north. That may or may not be really bad, but we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about it.
He is a half-orc barbarian, um, as well as a fighter, barbarian, totem warrior, and champion fighter. Was
All
that the
right.
full answer to that question? Am I forgetting something that was at the end of that question?
Background, did you touch on that?
Background. I have an Outlander background, as I traveled from my tribe in the north to down where we are. On a journey of self-improvement.
Alrighty. And looking at your skills page, where did you focus your attention, and what do you find yourself using a lot more than others?
Well, he is someone who is good at tracking, so survival bits. And he's maybe not the most perceptive of our group or the most naturey of our group. Thanks, Jen. He's can keep a good eye out, perception and survival, and he can be pretty intimidating when he wants to be. But his true strength lies in his actual strength of athletics, which he can also apply to smithing, which he is a very decent smith and has crafted quite a few items, including his own axe that he then had enchanted by someone who was magic-y.
The entire group is carrying blades. Well, actually, I don't think John has one. But we're all carrying blades that were made by Tusk.
Yeah. Little daggers. Hence the bronze fangs, because I made these daggers out of bronze, and I call it a bronze fang.
Okay.
So. guy where the group name came from. His axe is called Bronze Tusk. He's very creative with his naming skills.
I thought you had made one last time you guys were in.
I have. I just haven't had a chance to give it to him yet. That's something that'll be coming up soon.
Oops.
All right, and then that brings us to John Hancock. What is your race, class, and background, and full name?
My name is John Hancock. I am a assassin rogue / sorcerer, and my background is ex-master assassin turned pirate. And I traveled across seas from my pirating days to join the Bronze Fangs on their quest and join a group as a whole, hoping to fight alongside them and grow alongside them as a person.
All right, and where do you focus your skills?
My skill specifically is in deception, perception, and I'm very nimble in acrobatics. So I use my deception and perception very a lot, and my acrobatics is I'm very nimble, so I'm very quick. I can get around quickly if need be and quietly. So.
Alrighty, and so that leads us to Gimbal. Gimbal, what is your full name, race, class, and background?
So my name is Gimbal Glibtooth Slickshot the Fourth, and I'm a rock gnome. That is, I'm 70 years old. I'm originally from Baldur's Gate. I kind of left there to try and be a little bit better. I tended to be my background's a little bit secretive. Not everybody is aware of some of it, but was a merchant, but I also like to swindle people who are more powerful than me, kind of irresistibly so. And I'm just trying to do a little bit better, do some good to counteract a lot of the bad before. And I am a wizard / warlock. Having become a warlock at some point in our journey when I was contacted by the Star Lord, along with, I think, more than one person in our group at the time.
All right.
And
where do you focus your skills, and what do you find yourself using a lot more than normal?
I'm being a rock gnome, I'm very adept at identifying magic items, so I have a kind of an affinity for items and machinery. But deception, sleight of hand, investigation, those kinds of things are my strengths. And I am very good at disguising myself. I actually have an alter ego in another town. If we ever get there, I can use. And I'm an owner of the candle shop somewhere
in Nashkel.
Yeah,
Yes,
through totally not suspicious means.
Correct.
Don't question it.
The guy just got his affairs in order before he decided to blow himself up.
All right, and so I'm going to take a look at your abilities page, folks.
Abilities.
I'm going to ask about a couple things. And so in a quick couple sentences, so I'm going to go in reverse order this time.
Naturally.
So Gimbal, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what is a conservator feat. What does that do for you?
So that helps me to identify magic items. Part of my being a rock gnome is an ability to recognize natural magic in things. So it gives me the ability to kind of.
And as an illusionist, you have a couple different tricks up your sleeves. What does the improved minor illusion and the malleable illusions do for you?
Gosh. Second. Ugh. All right, so the improved minor illusion lets me cast it without using a spell slot, and I can use sound and sight simultaneously.
Oh, nice.
A
Okay.
malleable illusion, I can use it to change the nature of the illusion itself. Up to a minute long, I can change it.
All right. Yeah. So for those of you at home who don't know, when you do minor illusion, it's a minor. So it's a small thing. It's a cantrip. You can cast it multiple times, but it's either sight or sound. It might even be smell. I don't remember off the top of my head. But in his case, he can do both. So it makes it really neat. Um, and I've seen it used really creatively. Uh, Lots of different times you can make the sound of people talking from the other room to withdraw attention, or the sound of a fireball going off, or you can do it, you know, lots of different things that you can use it for. One of my favorites was they made some, it's a 5 by 5 square, so they made boxes, little crates, and then they hid inside these illusionary boxes. So lots of different ways you can use it, but you can't change it once you cast it, and especially because it's a minor illusion. Within his case, he can, if he's making it last longer, he can have it slowly move or change, or even just change it completely. It was pretty cool as an illusion dude. And we would be remiss if we did not mention your little familiar. Tell us a little bit about your familiar.
OMG, I think.
Mhm.
Hang on a second, I gotta
Yeah,
find
it's
him again.
OMG.
Is on your cohorts page.
Yep. So I also have my second mount, which was originally I had to stay. Now I got to stay longer. But anyway, OMG is a small ooze, just a little thing. It's a giant amoeba, which is still very tiny. So it's so small anyway. But it can ooze along and it can attack things and do different things. But um, I mean, it's just a stealthy little creature that can help distract things or something and be kind of unobtrusive. Unaware, people won't see it as easily. Notice it until it's too late.
Alrighty.
And also
And
kind of cleans up the ground as it walks.
yes, leaves a little trail of cleanliness behind it. Um, all right, so let's take a look at Mr. Hancock. So, being a rogue and a spellcaster means that you have a lot of interesting things that you can do, ways that you can pair them up, and you do a good job of that. But looking at your abilities, you picked Magic Initiate. Uh, do you remember what spells you picked from that?
The spells I picked offhand would be, let me recall. Actually, I believe I actually have so many spells now that I don't remember what levels I got them. Honestly, I'm going to be 100% real with you. Like looking at it, I have a long list of spells. I know one cantrip is that I picked up. What one was a cantrip, and I believe it was message, which allows me to send the actual message to somebody using my thoughts in my head or mumbled words under my breath after doing a sign. And my second spell I received from Wizard was Thunderwave, which allows me to basically cast a 15-foot thunder wave in a cone, basically a 15-foot like square cone area. So
Very nice.
yeah,
All right,
that's
and
just some of the
then
abilities.
with your under your other abilities as a sorcerer, it you get different things depending on what flavor sorcerer you are. You are a draconic sorcerer um, with a dragon ancestor. What type of dragon are you descended from?
I am descended from the blue dragon, which is a lightning type dragon. So yeah.
Very cool. All right, and he does not have a familiar, but he does have uh, a griffin that he just picked up. He's learning to communicate and talk to them and use them. So that'll be an ongoing thing that we have. All of our people have different mounts. Um, but going on to Tusk, again,
Mhm.
you've have quite a few different feats and things that you use. What does your Furious Assault feature do?
My Furious Assault allows me to choose a creature that has hurt me or an ally during that fight, and I can deal just a little bit of extra damage to them once before a short or long rest. Uh, Probably my least used feat because I tend to forget about that one.
Very nice.
But it is something that lets me do just a little bit more damage if I want.
All right, and then as you are a fighter and a barbarian mix, um,
Mhm.
so you get a lot of different things from both. What does your Spirit Seeker feat do? Feature.
Uh, that is one of my totem barbarian ones that allows me to um, cast beast sense and speak with animals as a ritual. Um, I can be more attuned with my kinship with beasts. Of course, I take rituals, cast them, and we have someone else who already also has access to those spells, so don't need to use them. But
I'm sorry, Nick.
hey, no, it's perfectly all right. I like the dichotomy between my connection with nature and your connection with nature. It's a fun dichotomy.
And you have used them.
I
I,
have used
I
them,
don't know
yes.
that you've used Beast Sense, which allows you to basically get a familiar from a willing creature, but I know you definitely used Speak with Animals more than once. Uh, and so
I have
you
used that
also
a
have
couple
a
of times,
mount.
yes. I
You
do,
had a familiar for a little bit, but Mini Me sadly went away, and
unfortunately.
so that was just a temporary thing from a crit. I mean, not a crit, but a magic surge purchased by our friends in the chat.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about what kind of mount you have.
Well, I have a mount, which is a Auroch, kind of like a special bull, who I have named Castru. Um, yeah, my fun little mount, who I've given some barding to, a little chainmail, give it some defense in case it ever gets caught in the fight with us. It's one of these days I'll get around to actually training with it so I can, kind of ride it into battle and have it just charge over my enemies while I, swing at them. But,
That's right. And
you
speaking
know,
of speak with animals, this is one of the times you used it. You've used it
true.
to speak with him several times, uh, and
Helps me
interesting
bond with
conversations.
my.
And he does most of the time what you tell him to, and
Mhm.
that's pretty much all Tusk needs. So uh,
Yeah.
don't need any other fancy stuff. All right, so that finally brings us back to Genesis. Again, as a cleric and a bard, you have a lot of different things that
So
you
many
get from
things.
all these different things that you have. What does your gallant hero feat do for you?
Yeah, so honestly, I kind of roleplay with Jen a lot. So Gallant Hero basically gives me It's a lot like the lucky feat where you can kind of re-roll sometimes. But basically I have a couple like gallant hero points. So when I make an ability check that involves a couple different skills, here, let me open it up. Animal handling, athletics, persuasion, an intelligence check to recall information, or an initiative roll. I can spend a gallant hero point and roll a d12 and add that to my roll. So I can choose to be better at a skill, basically.
Very nice. And then what does your dampen element do?
Ooh, that's a new one. I haven't gotten to use it yet. That comes from being a level 6 cleric. So when I or a creature within 30 feet of me takes acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage, I can use my reaction to grant resistance to them against that instance of the damage,
Oh,
which is
nice. Okay.
neat.
They take half damage from that. That's cool. Uh, most people would have, the average party level right now is 12. Uh, so that's going to definitely make a significant difference as you guys are fighting much higher level creatures. It's going to be nice to half that damage. And so tell us about your familiar.
Yeah, so I have a familiar, and technically neither bards nor clerics get the find familiar spell. But Genesis prayed to her god, and I asked the DM, and so she got a special familiar from her god, Sylvanas, the nature deity. Uh, and she has a familiar that is a ferret, who, as I think it's an action? Yeah, it's an action. So he is a, ferrets are tiny, but as an action, he can choose to change sizes between tiny and medium. So basically, the size of a normal ferret to the size of like a large dog, and it's really cool. It's neat.
Alrighty, yes,
When
and
do
you
I
did.
get to see the attack ferret?
Yeah. The funny thing is that like, he's not the strongest. His hit points do change when he transforms, but not by much.
Ah,
But
okay.
he's got armor, and she does have a spell that can like reinforce him, but he mostly just kind of chills on her shoulder. I'm just too scared of him dying, because it kind of sucks. He's been struck with a friendly lightning bolt before, so
I honestly can't wait to see Tusk ride his guy in and trample over people, me raining arrows down from above on a griffin. That would be an epic combo right there. Loading
Absolutely.
in Tusk.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys just turned 12 if you haven't already. You may want to click on the party sheet. Um, I went ahead and changed it back to the more informative metagaming version. So you can now see each other's hit points, hit dice,
Oh, bless you.
abilities. Um, so you can know a lot more information than you could before about everybody else in the party. So if you didn't notice that, there you go.
wow.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump back into what we were doing. You guys had come upon Candlekeep. Uh, if you weren't able to open up the link in the message of the day, you should now be able to do so now that I've shared it with everybody. Because I couldn't until I shared it. So there you go. And then our Sword Coast, where you guys came from, was from the west, and you flew in, um, and you are now here on the coast. So you guys are right now are outside in the Way of the Lion. Yeah, that's where you landed. Um, there's this little clearing and things, and so that's where you hooked up your horses and things. Um, some of you have been uh, to Candlekeep before? And did you want to? You talked a little bit about it, but do you want to remind people of what's required to go in?
Need to give some information, I think preferably written or a story or a song or any sort of knowledge. So not that be anything particularly big, but does require knowledge to be shared to enter. So not just like a fee you have to pay. It's sharing a story, sharing a song, sharing a book.
Correct. So the reason most people go to Candlekeep, this is not a tourist destination. This is a place of knowledge, and so people come from all over the Sword Coast, all over the Faerun to come and gather information, learn about things, share information here in Candlekeep. And so you don't just come, like I said, just to stop by. If you need a place to sleep, you need a place to stay. There are other places you can go. Candlekeep is a house of learning, or a nerdage, if you will. And so that's why that this is required of you. So as you all are um, out there, did you in fact want to go into Candlekeep? You guys have been there before. Um, Genesis, do you want to remind or tell Gimbal and John why you guys were there before, or are you going to keep that to yourselves?
I'm gonna be honest. Is I'm pretty sure last time we were here was like a year ago in like real world time. So, uh, Genesis would probably share. I don't freaking remember.
Weren't we delivering the? I mean, the last.
We did stop by here briefly when we were heading to the obelisk because I was delivering something, but we didn't go
Yeah,
in. We just stopped by and delivered.
but we had
We
gone in
have
before, hadn't
No,
we?
we went in
yeah
once before.
we've been in a couple times. One time we came in for a um to request some knowledge, I believe, on the necromancer and that evil book that we had found.
Right.
And then did a
That rings
quest
a
with
bell.
them that took us to the portal island, snout of
Yes. Yes.
Ohm something. And then we did some island stuff before sailing back. Um, I hope we do not run into that character that we escorted.
That wasn't that book later like stolen from the Candlekeep or something too.
No, it was actually stolen from Nashkel because we left it with the church in Nashkel, but we came
Okay.
here to learn more about it. And when we realized, oh, this is actually really, really bad, we'll bring it here so that you can lock it up like safely because it's like one of the safest
It's a
places we could
pretty
probably leave
secure
something like
place.
that. Yeah,
Right.
but it was stolen by the time we got back to Nashkel. It's still on our to-do
Yeah.
list to get that back and bring it to Nashkel. Or not
And if
Nashkel,
I'm
to
remembering
Candlekeep.
correctly, Jen has like a divination spell where she can like ask a question of her god like once a week. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think the last time she used it, she asked where the book was and did not get a response. So, uh, big
Or like
important things are in motion.
yeah. I'm sure we know. We know who has it. I'm certain we know who has it.
We have a pretty good idea, but knowing for sure would have been nice.
I mean, Drew, I'm still going to go off the assumption that he has it, and like that's it's been a hot minute, it's, real world time, but I do actually want to like look more into Rosserit, who we believe has this evil book. We have a name for it. I'm just not remembering it off the top of my head. Um, but like, okay, Rosserit hired another guy we know named Tobald, who's like an assassin thief guy, um, to steal the book from the church in Nashkel, which he succeeded in doing. We tracked him down, found out, okay, well, we killed him, but his body went away. we're pretty sure he got revived or something. That's a whole another ballpark.
Right.
Point is, we know that Rosserit hired Tobald to steal the book, and that Tobald was successful in stealing the book, and most likely passed it off to Rosserit. We also know that Rosserit hired the necromancer that we dealt with way back when. Well, we didn't deal with him, but interacted with. He kidnapped Kithri. Like, that's actually how we met Kithri, because he kidnapped her and we were in his lair and a whole bunch of things. But Rosserit hired the necromancer, Evis or something like that, to find this evil book and this pearl thing. We think he got the pearl, but not the book. We got the book. We have not been able to track down the necromancer either. That was another reason why we came here, because the necromancer from what we could track down, was here before researching the book, before he was in Nashkel, before he was in this forest. This is a lot of backtracking.
All relevant, though.
Yes, this is actually, it's all relevant for the particular case that Rosserit has been doing a lot of bad stuff in the background. He seems
and
very,
he's also just
what's the word,
a notable
conniving?
public figure, so we can't do shit to him without
apparently he's
evidence.
on the city council. He's a very powerful merchant that people refer to as a lord. He's not actually a lord, but he refers to. Also, he's a very powerful merchant. I'm pretty sure he's orchestrated the whole thing that was between the country of merchants, Amon. Yeah, that one. Which honestly I thought was actually fake for a while. Apparently they were actually a threat, but I'm still sure that was all orchestrated by Rosserit for some reason. Don't know why, but I'm sure it's him.
So this
I think honestly, if we could just blame everything on this guy, it would be pretty correct, 95%.
So John just
he's also aware of us, or at the very least me. Sorry, say that again, John.
I said John just chalks him up after hearing this as a major douchebag. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I've actually talked to the guy once. Well, less talked to and more was talked at. He didn't like us messing in this shit.
Jumped in your dreams. That's great. That's fun.
No. Actually, in person. He's some powerful magic shit. He managed to stop me and our buddy Cromwell, another big-ass fighter of us.
Woke up. It wasn't in your dream. You were woken up from your dream and couldn't move.
So that's who
branded.
I'm assuming this Ross Weiss guy is the Roswaret or whatever his name, Rosserit or whatever his name is. Rosserit. Yeah, I'm assuming he's the one that you guys were when I showed up at your doorstep. You were placing magical charge on to prevent him from creeping in your view of your house. I'm assuming, correct? Is that who you guys were preventing?
Or at least we were hoping to. I don't actually know if we succeeded in that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember when I showed up your guys' doorstep about the Cloud Giant quest to join you on it, that you were placing magical stones around the house to prevent somebody from using a seeing spell, as you called it, to see into your house.
I believe it was a rug that was inscribed with anti-scrying.
Well,
or some to that effect.
Well, whatever it is, I hope it worked, because that would be creepy for him to be able to see into your house and know what you're doing. But
well, I mean, we know that we've been scryed on before. We don't know whether it was him.
I mean, we've made a few enemies.
We've made a few enemies
that are magical. Some of which may or may not know who we are. We once wrecked this guy who I think who's this random. I think he was a wizard or something. Arcane caster fella. We raided his dungeon, and then we left him alive because it was actually a misunderstanding. Us going into the dungeon, we resolved it. I think he may or may not have been a cultist of some kind. I don't
He
really
also
know.
may not,
But
he
point
also
is,
may
he
not hold
lived.
an undying grudge either, just saying, for raiding his dungeon.
Who knows?
So
We
yeah,
also
they
like
have been branded. The two characters he was talking about, Cromwell and Tusk, were branded by this guy.
yeah,
Letter R on their chest.
which
And
has since been broken.
yep, and they were not able to get rid of it for a long time. Um, and but the point was they came here to Candlekeep and then were sent on a mission to go over and help the turtles, which they did and returned.
Mhm.
Um, so
Right, the
that is
original
when
question.
what you guys were here for. Of course, you also were delivering something for the guild that you guys are in now. The and so
Yeah.
you got some little extra cash for being the messenger since you were traveling this way anyway.
Mhm.
Um, so as you're sitting there, you guys have been traveling. You've been telling these different tales. I'm sure since the last time you were here, uh, and so now you all are standing outside Castle Keep. It is 8:30 at night on Wednesday, the fourth moon. Did you want to try to go in to Candlekeep?
I don't really have a reason to go in.
Neither do I, honestly. I'm fine camping outside in like a tent or just, sending one of y'all in to get some food for us because, I'm a hungry man, so.
Yeah, actually,
I
I'm
think
gonna
we're
double
only
check my
here
notes, but I don't
because we
think.
figured out where we were because we kind of didn't know where
Yeah.
we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
mean,
we
like I
have a
said,
true reason to go in at the moment.
yeah. I mean, unless there's an inn in there, which there probably is, but I don't see us fighting with guards or giving out information that's necessary to just use the inn. I suggest we just camp on the side of the road and kind of like, you know, if we have to hunt boar or something or hunt something that allows us to eat for tonight. I don't see any reason in going in,
Well, you guys just leveled up, so you don't need to hunt boar. Uh,
Well,
but
that as well, but
let's take one quick second. First of all, welcome Ashley for to
Hello.
and Kithri. So Kithri, we went through this with everyone else. So real quick, what is Kithri's full name, class, and uh, background?
Race, background, class.
Oh boy. Well, Kid
It's
3.
all on your main page.
Yeah, no, I know. Kid 3 Underbow is a rogue, a Lightfoot halfling rogue, and her background is a street urchin. I didn't know if you wanted me to get into like
Nope, no,
the
that's correct.
spicy
Background, not
details,
backstory.
but
Yep, that's perfect.
that's true.
Yep, that is exactly right. And you hold the sole distinction of being the only one in the party who is not multi-class. So you are much higher
What?
and have access to some pretty cool stuff as a level 12 Ragu. So looking at your skills page, where have you spent a lot of your focus and what do you find yourself using a lot? Which skills?
um, Stealth is definitely a big one. Surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, perception and investigation, but mostly perception.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I've used deception a couple of times, but not as often as I would like. She's just too honest.
All right.
That's such a funny thing to say about somebody who's really
Is
good
a
at lying.
rogue.
Yeah.
I'm just too honest to lie, but I'm good at it.
Right. Um, so
It's
you
because they
are
know.
a arcane trickster.
Yep.
So it does allow you to cast spells and have some training in Arcana and things. You're probably the most learned one here um, when it comes to spellcraft and stuff, except for um, until Gimbal showed up,
Hmm.
because everyone else just sort of either gifted their spell abilities or um, didn't really have to learn it as much, although the bard is pretty close. But looking at your feats, what is the uh, as you're looking at your features, I mean, what does your draconic knowledge feature do for you?
Oh, my draconic knowledge. So, this is something that Kithri got for being nice to a random dragon, and it grants me advantage on knowledge checks having to do with dragons, just in general, and that's so cool.
Very nice. And then what is magical ambush?
That's a rogue feature. You, if I'm hidden from a creature, I have, or rather, the creature has disadvantage on any saving throws. So, can be used to sneak kidnap someone with like hold person or something.
Very
I
nice.
don't think I have hold person. It's fine.
And as a arcane trickster, you also have a familiar. Uh,
Yes.
what and who is your familiar?
My familiar is a giant owl. I think it was called a kingfisher owl. But generally, I just wanted the owl to be like almost as big, if not larger than Kithri, and I think kingfisher owls are huge. Anyway, her name is Athena, and she helps out a lot because Kithri can't see in the dark, but she can.
All right. And you also have a unique mount. You have a kobold riding drake that you ride.
hmm This
Um,
one's name is sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. You named
No,
it.
this one's name is Artemis, and continuing the trend of
Mhm.
whatever I guess I decided to do a while ago. And she's great. Kithri learned Draconic just so she could speak with her mount, so I feel like that is a testament to the length she's willing to go for companionship.
All right. All right. So jumping back into the story, you guys are talking outside Candlekeep, deciding what you want to do.
Oh,
Genesis, are you
hold on.
reacting?
Uh, yeah. She kind of stops talking for a moment, and she's like listening, and she's like, "There's a horse coming from the east.
Oh, what?
A
It's riding pretty
horse?
fast."
Huh.
Yes. So there is a horse that is coming, and it is riding fast, and it's coming from the east.
Husk looks in the direction.
We're looking in that direction.
All right. And about a minute later, you guys also start hearing it as the sun is set, and so it's a little difficult to see. But galloping up, it's actually not a horse; it is a centaur. Um,
Ah.
she does not have the weapon,
Oh.
but this is what it looks like.
Fancy centaur.
Wow.
As she gallops up and sort of sees Tusk and Genesis standing there talking to each other. Um, and she slows down, and you can see she's a little out of breath, uh, and has a little bit of her hair is matted a little bit from the sweat coming from underneath the square hat on her head as she rides up uh, and slows down and sort of does a little curtsy and says, "Well, good evening. Welcome to Candlekeep."
Hail.
Well and well met. Uh,
Salute. Well met.
And uh, She says, "I am Everett," and she reaches out to both Tusk and Genesis to shake your hand. "It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Tusk will shake their hand.
Jen will also shake their hand.
How do you
Does it
spell that
seem like
name?
she does it seem like she knows us already, or is she just being polite?
Go ahead and give me a insight check, and anybody can roll it in a tower if they would wish to do
All
so.
right, I'll try it.
Do insight.
I like how I like considered rolling insight, and I'm like, Kithri doesn't trust her anyway.
That's right.
Doesn't matter.
She thinks she's lying her anyway.
She already has a stone in her sling. Um, and as she's holding both of your hands at the same time for a moment. Uh, and so from what you all can tell, Gimbal, you have a little hard time seeing because it's uh, she's sort of with Tusk and Genesis both standing in a way. It's a little hard for you to tell, but from her voice and stuff, she's the rest of you all seem that she's. To answer your specific question, no, she does not seem to know you. She seems to uh, be introducing herself. Um,
Oh,
and let's see.
where are my manners? I am Genesis Stillwater of the Furley clan. And we are the Bronze Fangs. And she kind of like glances
Tusk.
at Tusk, like, is Tusk gonna introduce himself?
No, yeah. Tusk.
Uh,
Well met.
and she's smiling, and she says, "Are you now?" And she's laughing. And John, you think something's a little odd? Can't put your finger on it. You're not sure. She doesn't have any weapons. She doesn't seem to be evil. She's not conniving. You just get this weird feeling. Um, and Tusk and Genesis, she
She's
lets go
still
of your
holding her
hands and
hand.
steps back. You all now start hearing more hoofs as these riders come charging into the come down the road where she came from, and she sort of looks back at them, and you see that there's a cleric, uh, very clearly from the attire that they have. They're wearing their I keep wanting to say livery. It's not um, the symbol tabard. It's like a tabard with a symbol of uh, helm on the front of it, and uh, over plate mail, and you see the two people behind her appear to be. Uh, One looks like an archer, maybe a ranger of some kind. The other one it looks is holding a crossbow. They both have armor on as well. And as soon as they get within your sight, within 60 feet, the cleric
Oh
lunges,
no.
reaches out with her hand, and the centaur disappears. Let me get some rolls from pretty much everybody except Tusk.
Except to me. Oh,
I'm gonna
So
say this
Tusk,
is
does
a
Tusk's does his
16.
horn go off?
There we go. Nope.
No.
no.
All right,
Oh,
and
that's what the rolls are.
Gimbal.
Can I use my inspiration to reroll mine?
If you
Did
want to,
mine
sure.
not? Mine? Okay, so what happened when I rolled mine is it landed cogged, and so I'm like, oh, I wonder which number it's gonna pick.
I'm
And
gonna
then it
use
gave
my
me a string of
inspiration to
errors.
reroll that. So can you
That's
push it through
weird.
me again?
Just roll it again, then, Kithri.
Okay.
It's an
It's
Arcana
Didn't like
check.
you, Kithri.
fine. It really didn't like me.
There we go. Now it's gonna
Uh,
work.
Can you push that again to me, yeah?
it says it's
It's
having
still
trouble
not.
with halfling luck.
Aha. That's weird.
Hmm.
Give
Joker,
me a
if you
second
want
here.
to, you can just go to your skill
There
page
we go.
and drag Arcana into the chat.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
I push it.
Should I
Let me
roll again
see.
or no?
Let
Still
me
a failure.
remove you
Oof.
from the party.
Oh boy.
I don't want to remove you from the combat tracker yet,
She can't sit with
but I'm going to
us.
remove you from the party. See if that helps, and then we add you back.
Oh shoot! I just had a thought, and I really hope I'm wrong.
I hope my thoughts are also wrong, Nick.
Skills. Okay, Arcana. Let me see what happened to it. I rolled it just fine, so go ahead and try it. Oh, no, it didn't. It does not like you. Okay.
See?
Dang.
That's wild.
I guess you have to stop being lucky.
No.
Script execution error. Actions, halfling luck. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to here. All right, well, it's not on the combat tracker. Interesting. So let's go to your actions.
Mantha, or I should say Jen Tusk, I just literally thought of something, and I hope my fucking thoughts are wrong as well now, because I just thought of something how this is playing out, and I'm just thinking, like, oh god, hopefully this is wrong. It pegs something that happened back when I was a pirate, and yeah, no, it does not bode well with me.
I don't see
Guess we'll see.
halfling luck on your actions page either. You have lucky, but that's not what it says. All right, try another, just a different skill, and then we'll move on real quick once we're done with this, and I'll check.
It says the same modifier, so. Nope.
Huh. Okay. That's the only other place it would be is your abilities. Let's try
It says it's having trouble. I think
traits.
the issue is it's not it the halfling luck is asking for what number it is so it can check if it's a 1, but the number is not being given. And it's getting upsetty
Brave.
spaghetti.
Lucky. All right. So it looks like, yeah. So this is just it's pulling it from your. Where is it pulling it from? Because I don't see it anywhere. I don't see it in your abilities. I don't see it in your traits. Is it say it within the traits somewhere? No. It just says
But
lucky.
isn't
Maybe that's why.
her?
Let me try
But she
this.
doesn't have the lucky feet, doesn't she? Isn't her
Let me
lucky
try
just
that.
her
All right.
halfling luck?
Try it now, and then if not, we'll just move on. And on a break, I'll turn off the extension if I have it going.
Nope. You fixed it?
Wow.
Wait, why did I have advantage?
Cool. All right, so that
Do
works
I have
because
a
it's
talent? Oh,
yes,
that's a new thing that I have.
yes.
Oh yeah.
That's actually not new. It is new because I now put it in the I now have an extension. So
Oh,
um,
11. Cool.
that is
That's
something.
so great.
So just so you know, at 11th level, whenever you make an ability check that lets you add your proficiency bonus, you can treat a D20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
Mhm.
It's so cool.
So that's what reliable talent is. I
Yay.
forgot to mention to you that I fixed it, so it's now there. Um, so
Meow.
that's cool. So
It's
anyway,
super great.
It
um,
means you're permanently good at things.
if she's proficient, yes.
Mhm.
All right. So
You're,
Genesis and Kithri, you recognize this spell. Um, but Tusk, your head is starting to spin. Genesis, so is yours.
Mate,
Click and click. Um,
Oh no!
ah,
your
fuck.
head is starting to spin,
Jen's
and
had this cast on her very recently.
you're
It's fine.
uh, starting
Is
is
it
starting to
too
see
late to
spots and things.
counterspell?
Um,
wait, so we didn't
Okay.
recognize any threat, but they're casting spells on us.
no,
I
there
think
were
they're
no
with
spells cast on
outside
you.
the ring.
They cast
Yeah.
that spell on the centaur, and that's
Oh,
why the centaur disappeared.
I was just
Tusk
wondering
and Jen
if
would
we were
be
getting
Or
next to
played.
the
Is
centaur
it
at the
too
time,
late
so
to counterspell?
yes,
probably.
Damn.
you
Okay.
were also um, couldn't see the caster at the
Mm.
time. They would have been 65 feet away because as soon as they
Aw,
got within
damn.
range, they cast it. You just
Counterspell is
recognized
60
the
feet.
little pop. Well, you wouldn't be able to see them
Yeah.
because your range is 60 feet. So
I know.
Mhm.
you recognize the pop and the effects of what happens when that spell goes off. Um, so the other two, so the three people ride up to you,
Yeah.
and um, I need Tusk and well, I need Nick and Mantha. Right click on your character portraits
Okay.
and click the release
Oh my god.
button, the little eraser.
Oh no.
Then open up characters.
Release characters.
Clear owner. Hold on a second.
Are
Go
we
ahead and close
grabbing
it
each
and try it and
other's?
try it again. All right. So open them, close it, and then open it back up. So now, so Nick, I want you to grab Tusky, and Mantha, you grab Jenny. As we'll both of you give me a percentile.
Oh God, what I'm
Have
what? Oh God.
All right, and I'm gonna pull you aside for a second.
Oh Lord.
yeah, explain what's going on to someone.
I'm turning down Sven's stream.
All right. So starting with you, Genesis, you feel really heavy, and you sort of look over to your right, and you see yourself. You're looking at yourself, and you look down, and you see this body extending down, really insanely muscled, and you realize you are Tusk. But you still have, you think you could cast a spell, you think you could do all the things you normally would. You just have all your information. You quickly do A, B, C, D, E, F. So your memory is still there. It just feels like you are in his body. Now, I um, Tusk, same thing. You
Hmm.
all of a sudden
You,
you feel very light, like
very
you
light
could
and
jump
delicate.
and frolic, and but you turn and you see yourself and look up at yourself, and you look down and you have cleavage, and you're wearing armor, and it's really itchy and sweaty and dirty because
Mhm.
you've been in fights and there's just nick marks on it and it grates against your skin and you have more skin in places that you're not used to and but you f- feel that itch in the back of your head, that anger that you could you feel like you could go into a rage if you needed to. You have access to that spell, the ritual. It feels like you are yourself. Um, you remember growing up. You remember have all your memories. It's just you are in a different body. You're in Genesis. It takes you a moment, and you realize, you see the flute by your hip, and you realize you feel the ferret on your shoulder, nuzzling on your ear, and you realize you're in Genesis' body. Now,
This is so good.
all
Yeah, so much
as
better
you
than what I was thinking.
You guys want to try to do each other's character voices?
as you're looking at your character sheets, you'll see. So I'll start with you, Mantha. Is it you that's messed up? Yes. So that's why your inventory was screwed up before, because
Uh,
they used to have the parcels. You could put a parcel, make a parcel, and then just drag the parcel in, and it would be there. With yours, it didn't do that. So, Nick, your inventory is accurate. Your inventory is actually what. Oh, actually, no. Yours is messed
I
up
have
too.
no inventory.
Yeah, yours is
uh,
uh,
yours is
messed up too.
messed up.
So,
I've got Nick's. I'm assuming that this is Nick's inventory with like a bunch of weapons.
yes. You have the different weapons and things that are there. Um,
Mhm.
it was becoming. I spent almost just over an hour trying to unscrew everything, and all I was able to do was put it back into Genesis inventory. So that's why Tusky Half Elf, you have no inventory, but
Okay.
you can work with Mantha. She can tell you if you're looking for anything in particular or stuff like that. Um, so uh, that's
Okay.
not
Well,
as
honestly, Nick,
a big deal.
I'm a little glad that you have no inventory because it's honestly, I hoard so much shit that it's overwhelming.
Oh,
I
yes,
So,
hoard a
that's
lot of
why it
stuff
took me
too.
so long. And I was so
Ugh.
frustrated because I lost it all. It was gone, and then I had to manually move
Oh
it one by
no.
one from the parcel back into Genesis, one
rip
by
Oh
one
that.
into her inventory.
no.
Oh, it was so frustrating.
Oh,
All right, so let's get you back,
this
um,
is gonna be fun.
and I'm gonna throw you back in there. All right, so the three of them ride up, and the cleric, he turns to you all and says, "I'll give me just a second here. I'm looking for my table. There it is." He says, "Greetings. I hope that mischievous fake bitch didn't do anything to you all before we got here. I am the hand of Helm. We've been chasing her for the last 2 days. Finally managed to catch her. Thank you for slowing her down before she was able to get into Candlekeep."
Uh,
Uh, Normally, we are always happy to help, but what? That's my voice. What the heck?
So this is Genesis speaking.
Yes, this is Genesis speak. I'm going to attempt to do the voice. But curses an orc.
uh, Tusk like kind of like popes Genesis, and is this real? and finds out that it is very much real.
Does John notice any changes about Tusk and Jen, or is he just standing there, just like scratching his head, like, yeah?
Oh yes, I mean they're
They're
saying and doing what they're saying and doing, so it's clear something is weird.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, no, I'm
This is
talking
so
about did
good.
they look? I'm talking about did they switch? I don't even know if they switch bodies, but like, is
Jen looks like
how?
Jen. Tusk looks like Tusk.
Yeah,
What
we look
I
the
say is
same.
what
Our
Jen says.
mannerisms are very probably changed a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your voice and personality changed, not your attire or what you
Oh,
look
our
like.
voices are the same,
The voices are the same. We're just going to attempt to do each other's voices.
and it's gonna be
Okay.
But
bad.
our personalities have changed.
Okay, I was just curious if you still looked like figuratively like Tusk looked like Tusk and Jen still looked like Jen, or you guys did a full metamorphosis body swap and you're just like Tusk is now a female and then Jen is now a
Jen
male.
looks like
or-
Jen and
There's
sounds
no
like
gender
Jen.
bending going on here.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
okay,
are
so-
the same people you know, and you probably don't notice until we start talking. So,
How we talk. Yeah.
Okay, continue.
well,
Glad we could
help.
think
I think you were
maybe
seconds
something
too late.
Gimbal, Kithri, are you guys responding to the cleric at all, or to what's going on with
Kithri
your friends?
is looking at the two of them, absolutely horrified. Like,
John
excuse
is
me,
just
what
scratching
just
you.
happened?
John is just scratching his head like this is technically an upgrade for Tusk because now Tusk can call himself sexy.
Why would you
No.
want to do
Tusk.
that?
It's body or Tusk brain, like.
Okay, I know something that will make me a lot
Do you
calmer.
want your axe?
Yes, I would like my axe. As like he's like, or
We're doing like the swap of he's
Husky
passing over.
is like
the
like putting out their hand like for the axes, like with the other hand handing you your flute.
Yeah, we're doing that, and Jenny is like realizing that fingers are a little bit too big to play this thing.
So
I could just take that too, and
So you grab the flute,
Tusk reaches
and-
over to take the holy symbol from around your neck.
you grab the flute and you hear the wood creak a little bit as you realize you're gripping it way too hard, and the great axe is extremely light in your hand. It's like you didn't realize it was this flimsy as you hand it to you, and Jenny, you grab this thing and it falls almost out of your hand as you realize you can't hold this thing one-handed. And I mean, she's strong, but it was not quite as strong as you. And it's a different feel. It's a much smaller hand. Your grip on it is very different as you grab it with your second hand and pick it up, and you can hold it just fine. It's just very different, and it's a little heavier and off balance compared to what you're used to.
Yeah, but now he's Tusky is kind of manages to have up the X with two hands, kind of rested on her shoulder, has to adjust to the weight, and is like putting both hands resting it while he's holding it.
As Piper screeches a little bit and hops down as you almost squish him with the axe.
Damn, I'm never gonna be polite to people again. This is horrible.
Well, they always say no glove, no
what do I
love.
want to-
So if she wasn't wearing gloves, that's why.
Sir, please tell me you know how to undo whatever magic that horse person did.
All right, Gimbal,
That's
you
my
doing
body.
anything or saying anything as this is happening?
I am resisting the urge to snicker at both of them because I know they're not going to take it well.
Oh yeah.
But
John is just outright busted out
I am
laughing.
bravely trying to put on a very stern, serious-looking face. Like, what is this? Some
If John
very
is laughing, he's also got
serious
big
man,
like him.
serious magic. Gonna have to research.
John is just busted out laughing at the mannerism and how they changed,
And
and
he's still
just
laughing after Kithri kicked him. She kicks him again, and you might get a stab if you keep going.
And so he says, I know not of what you speak. What? And he's sort of looking around. Well, what magic did this centaur cast?
Sorry, forgive my shock.
That's my
That's my
body.
body. We say at the same time.
Pointing at each other.
Yeah.
I know of. You're saying you're polymorphed. I didn't know they could polymorph to people.
No,
Arcana is not
not
really my.
polymorphed. I think our
More
brains
like their
swapped or
souls have been
something.
switched. Yeah.
Because if we were polymorphed, we'd be standing in the same places. We are not in the same places. I'm standing where he was standing, and he is standing where I was standing.
This must be some fey craziness. Uh, I've only been to the Feywild once, and it was 2 hours too long. There's no
Well, it's
telling what
certainly
could have been
wild.
happening. Well,
I too have heard that the Fae are wild.
you know, the
Sorry.
I'm sorry, it's so much weirder hearing that from my mouth. I know that's
Yep.
just how you talk all the time, but it's so weird.
the archer says, "Well, it's a good thing we're here at Candlekeep. I'm sure if anybody knows, you'd be able to find out here."
John is just looking at him like,
We now
okay,
have a reason to
Captain
go inside.
Obvious. Yeah.
I guess we do.
John is just
Well-
staring at the ranger with the bow that was just like, oh, now you have a reason to go to kill you. Well, you think so, Captain Obvious. He's just staring at him like with that like dumbfounded expression, like obviously. Like a smug, dumbfounded expression.
I'm a mercenary. I'm not a captain.
Well, glad we could help you, folk. Always, it sounds weird. I'm Tuscan Jen's body. Well, nice to meet you, folk. I don't believe we caught your names.
So the cleric is just sort of looking, scans at you as you're stumbling over your words a little bit, and says, well, she's gone back to her realm, thank goodness, and so we will bid you adieu. And they turn and start cantering back the direction they came from.
See,
I feel like I should go after them, but can't even think of a reason why. I guess we're going to Candlekeep.
I kind of had a bad feeling about this to begin with, guys. About you shaking her hand, but I just didn't want to say anything and be rude.
Well, it's polite, okay?
I will. Admittedly, it was odd that when she
Shaking
said shake
two
both of our
hands.
hands at the same time, I thought it was a centaur thing for a minute. But yes, no, don't shake hands with the weird Fae creatures.
We didn't know she was Fae at first.
Word of advice next time: don't shake hands with anybody you don't know. Just be wary at first.
Oh yeah, that's a
not
great thing to do. When
anyone to be like her.
I mean, to be fair though, Kid 3 is. I would have to say Kid 3 is the smart one out of the bunch, not shaking hands and judgmental of everybody, because at least he's not shapeshifted bodies now. So, like,
Well,
and between the two of them, especially Genesis, they have shaken probably thousands of hands in their lives. So
yeah,
having the
this
thing
is the
never
one
shake
out
hands is not.
Yeah, that's not.
That's not good
to our
enough.
lifestyle.
We will be try to be more selective with who we shake hands with, I guess. Mainly, this could happen again. We'll see. Magic's
Probably.
weird. I don't understand the magic.
And
Uh,
while part of you is thinking that you do want it to happen at least one more time, so that
I
you can
think
go back.
like if it happens again, I would not be upset.
By
But
the way,
no,
did
no.
anybody?
You know
By
what?
the way,
Of course, I want this undone as well.
did anybody else notice how since Tush switched with Jen has now become English? Has anybody noticed that?
So do you want
Jen
to,
has been English this whole time.
as you
Yeah.
guys are deciding what you want to do, if you're going to spend a night out here still, or if you're going to go in right away, you
I
presume
suggest we go.
they have typical banker's hours or researcher's hours. So this late at night, probably not going to get your answers. So decide what you want to do while we go ahead and take our break. So we will see you back
Okay.
at 35.
Do you have no inventory as well?
We are
I have
back.
your weapons in my
Just my weapons?
inventory.
Okay.
And your tyrant's gauntlets.
All right. So
So,
as we come back to,
Mhm.
let me go ahead and put myself back. It's no longer AFK. There we go. All right. So what did you all want to do for the night? It is now 8:45.
Well, it's a little late to go in and get started on it tonight. They're probably all sleeping.
Well, wait.
Be-
Before we
But
do anything, I do want to try something. And Tusk is going to try to cast dispel magic at 6th level. Might as well. Focusing
alright.
on whatever the effect between our bodies is. And I don't expect it to work, but gotta try all your options. So
Exactly.
so, are you
Right.
targeting Tusky or are you targeting Jenny?
well, it's like the magical effect that's
I
like
think you have
swapping
to
our
choose a
mind.
target.
Mm-hmm.
You choose a creature
It
or
says
magical effect.
one
Okay.
creature, object, or magical effect.
Nope. Fair enough. I
Because, like, if I
I did see
undo
that part.
just one of us, the brain in that body is just kind of free floating. Like,
Yeah. Sorry, my combat tracker that I just had open was covering that line of the thing.
gotcha.
All right, and give me a percentile.
Roll high percentile, please.
Roll low
Oh, low.
percentile is what we want.
Low percentile. Well, that's good.
All right, so it's a
5.
little clumsy. You feel like
Oh
you're
yeah, it's
back
so weird.
at level 1 when you were still in the um, temple, learning how to cast these spells. As you're doing the somatic components, verbal components work just fine. The and and you feel the magic happen. Um, and wait for a moment, and you're still looking at Genesis.
Hey,
Well, shit. I didn't think it would work, but I hoped it would.
Maybe if I.
let's just go. Let's just
I
go
do
into
think
the
going into
keep
Candlekeep is a
first.
good idea, but had to
Let's go into
try.
Candlekeep. We'll go to sleep and deal with this in the morning.
Well, do we have
Yeah.
anything that would grant us access?
I have a song, but that would only grant me access. It wouldn't grant us the whole like party.
We whose bag is it in? The we grabbed the papers from the keep before it fell. Like I think we
Oh
grabbed
yeah,
papers.
the giant books.
We have a wind fan from the keep we could always use. Give them. It's a magical wind fan that I have. It's a wondrous
Well,
item.
I think it's mostly scrolls and stuff is what they're looking for.
no, they want
Fair
more
enough.
like
Kithri has
written material. Occasionally, I think they might take a trinket, but if it has like uh, knowledge, the studying value. I feel like there's another word for that, but they want to they like to study stuff, typically manuscript. But where did that word come
we
from?
not keep the giant. There was like
Did we keep
big
the?
old scroll that we cut a section out of,
We
right?
cut the spell section out of it that makes
Oh,
it
Oh, that's what it
turn
was.
into like a scroll for that spell.
Mm-hmm.
what spell? Kithri has a couple of spells.
I don't remember what it was. It was something that would
But
like entertain
if it's
guests
in
if I'm
like
remembering right. But
giant, then maybe it would be more valuable than just a regular spell scroll.
I mean, we could try. Uh, trying to think of anything that's in, well, I guess your backpack now.
I'm gonna grab
Well, I've got
my
a couple of
character just to remember what's in my inventory.
got a couple
Yeah,
of
go
books that
ahead.
I picked
You
up
can get
along
your
the
other
way too.
characters back now if you want.
I've got Volo's Guide to the Monsters that I found in one of the library things that we raided. I also have a sit stay thing on Guide to Monsters of some sort, and I got a book that called Encounters and Treasures of the something that gives you some magical enhancement to your knowledge. Any of those might be useful for them.
Yeah,
We'll
if you wanna
say,
have it.
I will ask before we go into this. Um, you think maybe we should introduce ourselves as the body that we're in and not explain the whole mind swapping thing every time we meet somebody?
Yeah, or just say there's a magical or
We'll
some
deal with that
issue
if we
going
have
on.
to
Yeah,
introduce ourselves. I think.
yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm gonna reach into my bag real quick. I pull out an envelope. Um, something that I got off of Rats and Catcher a while back. This is a will to someone. Not sure who, but it's a will of someone. Um, sealed envelope. But yeah, something that I don't need that I'll give to someone.
Sven would. Well, Kithri wants to try to offer the scroll that is in giant. Is it in giant? Sorry, first of
It
all.
was.
Yes.
So she will try to use that, and I don't know.
So you guys,
Alrighty, we walk up.
right now, you guys are still talking about what you have.
Yeah.
So are
I
you
don't
actually
have
going to try to go in
anything
tonight?
worth knowledge wise, so I guess I'm excluded from this. So I'll just sit outside and sleep next to Ravenclaw.
I thought you said you had
That's a
something that would
bad idea.
let you get in.
I was gonna say I don't have nothing magical artifact wise or knowledge wise. I just can sing them a song up from my pirating days. That's about it. I mean, I don't think like
Well, if
I
you
have.
write this
Oh,
song,
well,
Well,
write
if
the song
I
down.
could help you write it down.
Good.
And
Yeah, I can say I
Tusk
can.
is about to reach into Genesis's backpack and realizes his hands are too big. Okay, well, if you dig in there and you go into that pocket, there's some parchment and some and a pen. Yeah, you got it. And Tusk is now holding these comically small items, trying to like draw straight lines and like with like musical notation and
If you would
stuff.
like to pass me the parchment and paper, I can write the first verse of a song on there for them to listen to read if they want me to. If you want me to pass me the parchment, pen, and paper, and I can write it down for you, and hopefully that will satisfy them.
Are you just doing the words, or are you going to do the notes too? Because I can do the notes.
Yeah, if you want to do the notes, I will do the words, unfortunately. Because I don't actually know the notes, because when we sing pirate songs, we don't actually have a band playing. It's just like, one of us will sing and then the other guys will chime in with the same words. Like, it's not like actual band with notes. Like, it's just generally like a shanty, Something you sing while you're working on a ship.
if you
Well,
sing
yeah,
it
if you
first,
sing it for
prob-
me, I can tell you what the notes are.
Oh god, is this gonna turn? Oh god, do I really have
You
to
don't
sing?
have to sing it in character, but if
You
you
just say
wanted to, you could. You can just say, "Hey, I sing this song for." Um,
All right, well, I'll sing you the song if everybody's fine with my terrible voice. If you're ready to write it down, one of y'all.
we don't
Again,
actually
you don't have to do it in.
you
You
don't
don't have
have
to
to do it
write
in
down
character.
anything in real life. You can just say your characters are writing it down.
Yeah,
Our
as I said,
characters are transcribing it.
yeah, I know, but I was gonna actually sing the song so you guys can transcribe it if you want to.
Are you Joker going to sing the song, Or are
Yes,
you,
Joker-
John, going to sing it?
Joker's going to sing the song because John's voice is not. I can't do a John voice in front of you. My real life voice is John's voice, which is nasally, so prepare to be nasaled to death.
Okay.
Okay.
But it'll just be like the first verse of a song or two. Like that should just sate their needs. It's a pirate song, so
Okay. If you want to sing, go for it.
oh god.
If
John,
you don't
John
want
is
to, you don't have
If you don't want to, you don't have to.
I'll just tell you what words to write down, and you can write them in a singing praise.
Okay, and then
Okay,
we
we can do that.
Right.
Alrighty.
So you guys have
Do we write
jotted
down his
down
song?
the song with the notes as well.
I will send
and
the
all
song in a
different
whisper
verses that he knows.
I will send a song in to who am I sending it to? Jenny or Tusky?
Go
In
for
a
Jenny
whisper.
if you want
Jenny. All right, I'll send it to Jenny in a whisper.
to. Okay. And I believe with that we each have something, so we'll head to the front gate to go enter.
All right. So you walk up. You see the gates are closed.
Is there anybody outside
no
the
guards.
gates?
No.
I think we might be too late. I think the gate.
Yeah.
It's
Alrighty,
fine.
we have
We've
our stuff
kept
for the
outside
morning.
before. Well,
Let's.
okay. You're gonna have some trouble getting out that armor. So once we pack.
Wait, Oh yeah, you're right. You'll have to take this off.
Yeah,
Let's
I think we
get
can
to the
easily
campsite
say
first.
that. Yeah,
We go and we find like a little
we
campsite.
find a campsite.
There's ruins right outside the gate.
Okay.
A half circle, and there are other. What you see several places that have, the rocks that have been made into where fires have been built and things. Merchants and caravans have wagons and things have stopped here before, so it's almost cleared out. You see, there's area over on the cliff. There's actually an old weather-beaten outhouse over there by the edge of the cliff. So you guys can set up camp there, and let's.
Almost
All
with the
right, Jenny,
armor
her,
to get it off.
Jen,
Yeah,
I sent that to you.
Yeah, I saw it.
All right. So as you guys settle down for the night, is there anything special anybody wants to do?
John will just continue bonding with Ravenclaw and leave Ravenclaw roam around while he bonds with him and pet him and brush him and stuff. And I know this may sound not what Jen wants to hear yet, but I'm gonna ask Jenny if she could help me learn a little bit about Ravenclaw if she still has her knowledge with her.
Well, yeah, it's still my brain.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if anything got jumbled up with the brain swap, so,
Well, if I say it's there, it's there.
All right, well, can you help me with that?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm writing
All right.
down
Anybody else?
stuff.
In an effort to partially distract himself, Tusk is going to read some of this book he has. There's lessons in leatherworking. Yeah, it still has quite a while before he gets the benefit of reading this book.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, Jen is a little being asked to do a task is a welcome change of pace because she was about to just like struggle with like whittling a stick or something and just figure something to do. But and just cry a little bit inside.
Kid 3 seems pretty stressed. I think she's just gonna kind of do walk around the surrounding area with Athena and kind of just to survey the area a bit.
Okay.
Oh, and before instead of doing like rations and stuff, Jen's like, this is as good a time as any. And digs in Genesis's pack for a scroll of create food and water. And uses that because it's if she eats rations tonight she'll cry. So
Do you need any rolls from me for the bonding with Ravenclaw there, Sven? Do you need any rolls from me? Nature,
Nope,
handling,
you've passed
anything?
enough to where there's no real danger of it attacking you anymore. Now it's just a matter of continuing to work with it to where each day and each time that you work with them, you'll get better and better with not having to worry about falling off or if you attack from the back of him and stuff.
All right. Well, I didn't know if there was any specific things you needed, but while we're all taking a break, I'm gonna go AFK for a second while you guys are sorting our stuff out for tonight.
So you all are on top of a cliff, and so you hear the waves crashing down below. The smell of salt is heavy in the air. Uh, it gets a little chilly as the wind picks up every now and then, um, but it's like I said, you guys haven't slept on the coast very often, so it's a different feel. Whether or not your characters like it is up to you. And but the night goes uneventful, so I'll go ahead and give you guys a long rest. All right, so
In the morning, Husk is trying to go through his normal morning workout routine, getting a little frustrated with the fact that I have to do a little less here.
things are taller than they usually are.
Yep. Okay, I'll just do a lot of push-ups, and then maybe I will not have much trouble holding my weapon. Just yeah. So, waking
So
up,
you do.
hasn't put the armor back on or anything, but
Okay, so you're
yes,
not putting on back the armor. Okay.
Oh no, he's not going to put it back on.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll
I
make
can
sure
help
that's.
you, and I mean, it
You
would
can put it
certainly
back on
help if
when we
you.
get this fixed.
Okay. Just saying, if
I
you
don't.
got
I
in a
don't think you
fight,
can wear this all the time.
I do.
Well, I
What?
know you do, but I don't get how you can. It bugs me. I don't. Yeah, I have a.
And how do
I'm not gonna
you
say that.
walk around with no armor on? I feel like so vulnerable. And squishy. With an AC of currently my AC is 12, so
So you
What?
compared
can
to the
tell.
What?
normal
Oh, right,
17,
because
you have the abilities.
I have the ability. You do not. Yes, that makes.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Yep.
That's
So you can
it's
tell
simple. You just take the hit.
your dreams throughout the night are very all over the place. Very different than normal for Tusk and Genesis. You wake up and you can tell from the conversation you have not reverted back. So a long rest did not resolve the issue.
Uh,
Dispel
wait.
magic at level 6 didn't, I don't think. Well, can she cast Dispel magic at level 6?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well,
Well,
that's what I cast.
so no, my
Uh,
question
doesn't
is, do
that
you have
this
access to
magic
your
sometimes
Oh,
take
wait.
more than a simple casting for more complex stuff? Like the thing with the hag, where we had to do the weird mess with the circle thing. So it's probably just something more than that. I hope. Hopefully not too complicated.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Well, I guess we'll find out.
the city.
Regardless,
I
let's
am
try
very
and do
sorry
this
about that.
quickly.
Yes, quickly would be great.
All right, so you guys have breakfast. Gimbal, John, or Kithri, you guys gonna do anything else in the morning?
No.
Oh.
I'm gonna just break out to ask Tusk if he has some more of the meat rations to feed Ravenclaw, because I don't think he actually ate anything since we actually got back to land, other than probably what he ate up on the Cloud Keep, so he's probably hungry. A
He
few
ate
meat
part
rations.
of that
Oh,
bird thingy, didn't he? That
He
attacked
ate
us.
part of the giant. He ate part of the
my rations are like dried meat.
I didn't
When
have
you
a
wake up,
meat.
John, Ravenclaw's not there.
Oh.
How
Do I see him in any distance or anything, or? Sven, do I see him anywhere? Is he just wandering around somewhere? Oh god, perception. All right, let's roll it.
So yes, you see him as you head toward the outhouse to the north and go to at the edge of the cliff. You see him diving into the water and coming up with something in his mouth as he's swallowing it.
Okay, so I'm assuming he's just feeding himself. Fair enough. I'll leave him feed himself. I'm not gonna interrupt him. You know, I mean, I don't think it would be good to interrupt a griffin mid chow session on some fish. Honestly, I'm gonna be 100% real with you. What do you think, Jenny?
All right. Anybody else?
I think I've said my bit.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
So
Alrighty, let's go see if
you
they're open.
see that the gates have been opened, and
Alrighty.
you see there's one wagon being allowed in as you guys are eating breakfast and stuff and getting ready to go.
Alrighty.
Ben, can you push me to map again? I accidentally closed out of it. Thank you.
All right, what are you guys doing?
Walking to the front gate.
we're heading up to the front gate.
Okay. Who is going to be doing the talking?
Oh gosh.
Uh,
Both
Gimbal,
of
please.
us. Oh yeah.
Please, Gimbal.
Yeah, Gimbal, I would suggest you do the talking because it's not going to go over very well if we have Mantha and or Jen
It'll
and
just be a lot
Tusk do it.
simpler. Gimbal,
yes.
you get to talk
Do the talking.
to head the conversation. I think it'll go a lot smoother if you take the head on this.
Oh, you want me to lead? I'm sorry. I missed
Yes.
that. I thought you were going to with Jen's voice.
All right, so you guys
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
head up to the entrance and sort of push Gimbal ahead.
Your turn.
Give me. We would like to enter.
The guard
Kid
yawns.
Sorry.
What were you gonna say?
She just walks up and shows him the dwarf scroll and then like hands it to him and then walks back. He doesn't really say anything.
What just happened? Hold on a second.
Hurry up, Sir Guard. We don't have all day. My servants and I need to enter. We've got important business.
All right, so you see this guy. He's slightly overweight, but not huge. Still fits in his armor just fine. Um, and uh, as you guys are walking up, sort of sniffles a yawn, and top of the morning to you. Welcome to Candlekeep. And Kithri hands him the. You said dwarf. Did you mean giant, or are you handing him a scroll in dwarvish?
Oh, it is in giant.
Giant.
Okay. So he's like,
Giants,
and
dwarves.
Close enough.
you see the monk. A monk comes out, or someone that looks like a monk in robes, and she comes and sort of does a couple magic incantations and opens and looks at it. Um, and the guard is and what are your Gimbal, as you say what you said, and what is your name, sir? Uh, what do you proffer as entrance fee?
I'm Gimbal, Slickshot, the fourth, and
And all three of them
I have.
turn and look at you, and the guard sort of turns to the other guard that's toward the back, was sort of leaning against the wall, and as he stands up, they all look at you, and he sort of waggles his finger, and the guard pulls out a little scroll, shakes his
Oh
head,
fuck.
nods, says, "Ah, Gimble, you say?" And he waves the other guard over. He hands him the little slip of paper. He says, he's sort of looking at you all and looking at the paper. So, you have a Keithley Underbow and a John Hancock and a Tusk and Genesis Stillwater with you.
Genesis, thank you. But yes.
Ah, and so he motions, and the monk librarian hands back the scroll uh, to him, and he says, "Come, little one, you can take this back. You have been expected. Alay Alvinmore
Why?
is expecting you in her chambers. If you'll kindly step inside the court of air, we can. A runner will bring you up to her office in
Very good.
a few moments."
Okay.
Hmm.
Do we know that name?
No, or at least I don't
As
know
far
it.
as I'm aware,
I
don't
don't
know.
either.
I'm not familiar with it either. But I'm happy we don't have to pay.
Can
Unless there was
I
someone
check and
we
see if Jen has
met.
ever heard that name before?
Can John roll a I guess a insight? Yeah, I was gonna say history check. Yeah, to see if I know Nidor. Yeah.
Possibly if this is the person we first talked to when we came to Candlekeep last.
It makes no sense why after you two have been not polymorph.
Well, no, this could be for a number of reasons why we're expected.
Yeah, fair point. I was gonna say.
Okay.
Well, worst comes to worst, if Gimbal needs help with anything, I can always help with something. So, given the fact that you guys are kind of not each other at the moment.
None
Not
of you
yourselves.
recognize the name.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, whoever this mystery guy or woman is, it's they're waiting for us. So I suggest we don't keep them waiting, guys.
Someone. Yep. Tusk will start moving towards where into the courtyard or whatever they indicated.
Sort of
Yeah.
area in the
Sort of
middle.
there.
John's
Hopefully,
just
someone has a point like this can help us. Can help us.
So
I hope
if
so.
you notice the little green pin in the center of the court of air, it's just big, wide cobblestone expanse surrounded by walls and buildings. It's very plain and it's seen lots of wear and lots of use over the years. Some sections of it have been recently replaced. Others of it, like I said, right now you see the wagon that was let in earlier is over by the house of the binder, and they're unloading stuff there.
John's gonna keep his hand near his sword in case something goes wrong and we have to fight our way out of here. Just saying, John's gonna keep his hand like on his sword, just like on his sheath at all times, just ready to pop the sword in case something happens. Because one, he doesn't trust why. He doesn't know who this person is we're going to see, and it could end badly. So he's just really weary at this point. So he's just gonna keep his hand on his sword in case something happens.
The famous city's learning
Tusk
the
kind of
False.
turns around and gives you a pointed look, like, stop doing that.
I mean, Jen's or Tusky is also holding his axe, but it's also just like he's carrying it because he doesn't have his thing on.
So Tusky,
can he see who's at
you
the?
notice a lot more things. A lot of little details pop out at you. You're just as you're looking around, you a lot more information is being dumped into your brain as you're looking around and seeing things you have no problems when you were reading last night, even in a dim light. You had no problems reading. Um, your whereas Jenny, it's the opposite. It's takes you a while to realize
Everything
it, but
moves so slowly around me,
it's
and
a little blurry. Things are a little blurry. You don't have as much clarity when you're seeing things, signs that were farther away. The horse's hair and mane and stuff is just sort of a one mass. You don't make out the individual hairs and things like you used to. Um, and Jenny, I mean Tusky, you see notice this little boy as he's running in to the door to the north. Runs into the little door there as you guys are making your way in.
Okay.
And you had a question?
Do I see who's attending the cart that also came in right before us? Because you said we saw it off to the side.
Yeah, it's at the house of the binder, which is down here.
Mhm.
And they're unloading it there.
Sven, I sent you
Okay.
a DM, by the way, stating that something if you would like to
Okay.
look over that. So I will. For everybody here, I have to go at 12:30 because I have to be in bed soon because I have to be up at like 5 a.m. for stuff to do. So
but what time is it for you now?
it's 12:30. It's 12 a.m. now, almost 12:30. So like 20 minutes, I have to go.
So 20 minutes.
Yeah. So just thought I'd let y'all know. So if either you or you Mantha or Sven wants to take over my character, you can. If not, just leave me as a blob of thing, just on my own.
Just a ghost following us.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, up to
All
you
right.
though, of
So
course.
If you spellcasters, when you woke up, if you're casting any spells, make sure you've cast them.
Oh,
If
yeah.
there's magic items and effects on your characters, Tusk and Genesis, you don't have to worry about it as much right now. Um, but
Uh,
the rest of you
so,
check.
Tusky, were you complaining about like how it's kind of difficult to hold your axe now?
Yeah, like because I'm like actually carrying the axe at this point. It's like thinking on. It's like, hey, can I just have that bracelet?
Yeah, probably.
Just,
Is it
just give me
is
this.
it attunement?
It's actually not attunement, if I remember
It's
correctly.
not. Neat.
I don't believe it is. As I check my old character sheet for it. Yeah, no. Bracelet of Storing. It's not attunement.
All right,
But
Neat.
take it, put it on, throw the X
John.
in.
John is being wary. Um, Anybody else doing anything in particular while you're waiting the time it takes to be told where to go?
I think besides chatting about our different experiences now, not really. Um, like, I mean,
Okay.
really, your eyes are like dialed in. It's odd, but exceptional. Like to the point where like I mean I don't even think I would have noticed this, but like there was a boy who like ran in right as we came in, like ran in through that door, like right as we came in. It's like I probably would have not have noticed it had not been for your eyes. Um, Still very odd.
All
So
right.
I am
So
wondering who this person wants. Sorry.
a few minutes, about 5 minutes pass, and it is still early in the morning. It's now sunrise is just fully happening at this point, as it's behind you, coming up behind you, and long shadows being cast by the wall behind you, and the buildings as they interplay with each other, as the varying pillars, the varying size of the pillars and things make it interesting to see all the different stuff that's happening over behind to the north. And as you another 5 minutes goes by, and the door opens again, and you see different little girl. She runs out, still has cotton pants, cotton shirt, similar dress like the other one. It looks like it's a modified uniform, um, and she runs over to the guard and then starts walking back um, toward the door she came out of. And the guard walks over and says, "Scholar, Alvin Moore has been alerted of your presence, uh, and she suggests you go have some food at the hearth, and she will be with you by the first bell, which you guys guess will be about hour and 15 minutes."
Okay.
Alrighty. Um,
And the hearth, oh,
will
you have to
they be
consider the
coming?
sun's on there.
Will they be coming themselves, or will they be sending someone?
Oh yes, you will be summoned after
Okay.
they prepare for their day.
I will ask. I wasn't aware that we were going to be expected until we arrived. Can you tell us a little bit more about LA Avonmore?
Give me a persuasion.
I mean, you're still.
Oh gosh.
Uh,
It's probably
I mean,
thematically good, but
well, yeah.
All right, and so he says, well, they've been a scholar here for as long as I've been guarding, unlike some of these transients who are here just for a year. She's they've been here probably at least 6 years, and don't really engage with them very much. Seems nice enough overall. Doesn't leave the pillars much.
that's good to know.
Where is Tusk? Genesis, K3, and Tusk. I'm gonna say that. I'm missing Genesis,
Sorry.
and I'm sorry I didn't mean these to be hidden.
Oh, you threw that to Genesis and not to Jenny. I'm sorry.
Correct. Yep. So K3 and Genesis, you remember the pillars are where there are certain classes, not in the normal D&D sense, but as in levels of society class, people within Candlekeep. One of them are seekers, and so seekers are people who are normal people. Genesis spent a couple months as a seeker earlier in before she became as famous as she was. What they do is they come here, they establish what they're, who they are, and what they're doing there, and they are usually given quarters within the pillars. And many of the rooms within them have permanent silence spells cast on them, so there's no disturbance when you're trying to research and study. There are different people or magical constructs and things that will go and get books from the Grand Library, the Great Library, and bring them back so you can study and make notes. And that's what happens within the pillars. There are some like this scholar who have quote unquote permanent residence within the pillars, although most of the major scholars and teachers and are housed within the inner sanctum of the Candlekeep itself. Um, but the Great Library takes up 3/4 of the main inner keep, including the main huge uh, what's called the exaltation, which is the big spire that goes up in the middle. Uh, and that's when people say Candlekeep or Candlekeep Library, they think of the exaltation, this big giant thing that uh, stretches toward the sky. But the pillars, like I said, are there for people who are finding information and research. Uh, so that's what that's for. Uh, and then there is a small cafeteria, a small eating place in there, and some sleeping quarters for, like I said, the visiting seekers. And then the hearth is the actual inn. So if for people who are just here to, like merchants or things who just are there, don't want to leave, before, if they're there midday or whatever, and which is just going to spend a night, that's what the hearth is for. Um, and of course, the smithy and the bathhouse are self-explanatory. So you have about an hour to kill. You guys have already eaten, but do you want to go get hot, warm food? Do you want to see if you can squeeze in a bath or a steam? What would you guys like to do?
Husky's gonna go get a drink.
Yes, sounds
I
good.
mean, if they
Oh,
recommended we
I was
stay at
muted.
the hearth or whatever the food thing is nearby, Kithri will probably go, even if it's
All right.
just to sit down and sulk.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah,
Jen
John
will
is.
go with Tusky, uh,
She's gonna be
and
at the hearth.
remind him that he's in Genesis's body, and not to drink as much as he normally would.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Also, I
The alcohol here is weak, anyways.
Not for my body. Or sorry,
I have
not
a
for my
question for
body.
I have a question for Sven. Is Ravenclaw with me, or is he still outside the front gate?
No, he's outside. He's not
Okay, I
allowed
was just
inside.
okay, good. I just was gonna say, mate, I was gonna go out and make sure he was actually safe and make sure like he wasn't gonna die or somebody's gonna kidnap him. God, I worked forever. I worked my butt off to get that thing. I don't want somebody kidnapping him.
You see him land out where you guys made camp last night. And like I said, it has still has the saddle and things on, so it's and the livery. We'll say you just swapped out for a blanket and stuff, so he doesn't have the main stuff on, but it's clear he is somebody's mount, so
Okay,
the guards aren't threatened or nobody's
yeah.
attacking him. He seems to be doing just fine.
All right, okay. Well, that's all I'm worried about.
All right, so
Mhm.
uh, the hour passes uneventfully, and you see it's very busy in the hearth as a lot of people are getting breakfast. A lot of people are packing up and moving out and heading out, getting ready to start the day early. Uh, some you see some not a whole lot of scholars. There's just a lot of people who are traveling or merchants or guards. Uh, you don't see hardly any scholars in here in the hearth itself. Um, and you see little uh, young, guessing it's a half elf boy runs in, very clean, very nice clothes. You're guessing they're brand new as they are a little big on him. As he comes in and looks around, sees you all, and runs over, bends, does a little bow, and says, "The scholar, Alley Alvin Morris, ready to receive you. If you would be so kind as to follow me."
Good. Oh, oh, oh. Give a smelly mouth. Okay, let's go. As they quickly finish down like whatever was left of the drink at the time.
By the way, you did notice as you came in, the inside of the hearth is looks to be almost triple the size as it looks like from the outside.
Cool.
Neat.
Neat. Magic
Any
wizards.
of
A
you who are
freaking
trained
TARDIS.
or proficient in survival would realize that this is clearly a magical
Mhm.
building of some kind.
Probably doesn't surprise Tusk or Jen at this point because we've been here before.
Yeah, we've seen it before, but
But it's a cool tidbit.
it's
It
still
is,
cool.
it is fun to know.
All right, so you're
We
brought into
Gosh.
the pillars and you're taken up to the far north and east pillar. There are little walkways that connect several of the pillars. As you're walking your way through, you find that it's very silent, very quiet in here, similar to like a library. The few times you all have been into libraries, and um, there is it is busy. People are walking around. A lot you see a lot of these younger people in these page ish uniforms, and some of them are walking very fast. Others of them are there. You pass through a room where there's like 6 of them, just sort of sitting over to the side and chatting and rolling dice and talking quietly amongst each other. And you are led up to this room, and you are brought into a platform, and it's a tiny little room where you guys can all barely fit next to, cramped into each other. As you stand there, all of a sudden the floor starts rising. This platform lifts up, takes you up, uh, and those of you who are trained in survival realize you've gone up 4 floors,
Ooh.
and then you're able to, hit the page steps out and leads you to a small door, and they sort of knock twice and then open the door without waiting for a response, and then they allow you in. As you walk in, you see
Yeah.
there's a, Aarakocra, very tall, regal Aarakocra, standing there, and well dressed, has removes a pair of glasses, on there hanging on a loop, a little chain, so they just drop them onto their chest, uh, and you see that there have been, uh, they're mismatched chairs, so it's clear that they aren't normally here. Plus, her little office doesn't normally fit this many chairs, um, but they're arranged in front of the desk, and they motion for you to sit down. And even without high insight, you can tell that, they're not. They seem to be in a little bit of a dark mood, uh, and without as you guys are starting to sit. Mayastan Sadar, one of our finest mages, has been studying a particular tome held in the vaults. And she gestures over to this book on her desk. There's lots of other papers and things there, um, but it's very odd looking book. And instead of trying to describe it to you, I will show you the picture.
Hey Sven, sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna head out now. Okay.
All right,
Have a good one,
have a
John.
good one.
Have a good night.
Sorry.
Talk to you next
It's
time.
just I gotta be up early, so I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Stay safe, and don't kill me off too quickly, please.
Hmm.
Ooh,
No
that is a
promises.
fancy looking book.
So you see that this looks like it's made of, has a crystal cover of some kind. The binding on it seems to be crystal. There are gems embedded in the outside as well. And this is a treatise on dark rituals, and it was given to us as a donation from a high priest of Savras. And I don't think I forgot to check the notes. Let's see. Is Savras one of the deities you would know? No. Okay, so is who, stop,
High
close it. There we go.
priest.
Let me click and let me do this and that.
How do you spell that
Once again, edit.
god's name?
I don't know why you sent it to me twice.
Savras. So,
Thank you.
oh yeah, I must have pushed it twice by accident. Okay. So yeah, so you all succeeded as a group. So you all know that Savras is a deity having to do with divination and dreams.
Hmm.
One of my fellow seekers here, by the name of Mayastan, came to me. She was clearly bothered by something she had read in the Canopic Being, and so I will. The book is called The Canopic Being. Oops, there is no MA on the front of it. It's just Mayastan. She went to go follow up on her studies that she found within the book. She needed some help from the House of the All-Seeing Orb in Teshalar, which is east of Cholt. After she left, I started to look through the tome as well, hoping to gain some knowledge of what was bothering her. She pushes the book towards you a little bit and opens it almost all the way to the back. And you see that there's a list of half dozen different of names, and also the text is different. So the handwriting was clearly written by different people as well. And across the top of the page in a rushed script that fills the rest of the book is written, "Those who have been bestowed dash the willing sacrifices." At the bottom of the page is Mayastan Sadar's name, and you also see underneath Mayastar's name Genesis Stillwater, John Hancock, Kithri Umberbrook, Tusk,
Oh.
and Gimbel's insanely long name.
Is it in our handwriting?
No.
Uh, I don't know what to tell you about that. I don't know anything about that.
As you guys
What does it mean to have our name on this list exactly?
you are welcome to borrow the book. It would just need to be returned per the normal Candlekeep arrangements. But you're welcome to read it and study it as well. From what I've been able to understand, it looks like the list of names of people who are undergoing some sort of ritual.
Uh,
Some kind of ritual.
Over here, just racking my brain, like, what kind of fucking ritual?
well, it wasn't a consensual ritual if we are a part of the ritual.
I do not believe Mayastan was chosen to be part of this book as well. I think this is one of the things that bothered her, which is why she went to the east.
The Cholt, correct?
It
She
is
went.
east of Cholch, yes. It is the city's Tashluta in Tashalar. I would ask you to please go there, find Mayastan Sadar at the House of the All-Seeing Orb and bring her back. I don't know that she is in danger, but the implications of her name appearing here, quite honestly, are alarming, since you are also within this book. I would think you would also wish to investigate.
So let me
Yep.
get this straight. Our names all appeared here. It's not like you found this book and they were already in there. They just kind of showed up one day.
Your names have appeared within the last 2 days. I did not notice the names until the day before. Today, give me a second. Tuesdays, when you're the morning of Tuesdays when these names appeared.
And for us and for anybody watching, Tuesday is the day that we left Nashkel to head to the Cloud Giants Keep.
Hmm.
I'm actually somewhat intrigued by the fact that each of our names is in different hands, written by a different writer.
Magic? Sounds like magic. Uh, but that does worry me. Honestly, it makes me think that we might have. It gives me some thoughts of why this might have happened, but I also don't fully understand this magic. We would like to do that, and we'll probably go do that because it does seem to worry. That does worry us as well. But we have one more request before we go.
Yeah,
Um, we so pointing to my body to Jen as Tusk. Yesterday
uh,
afternoon, we encountered a was it horse person,
a
centaur,
centaur.
centaur,
Or what looked to be a centaur.
uh,
Uh,
a fae. That's what they call them, fae. Fae.
yeah.
Um, and they switched our bodies.
Yeah.
We would like to undo that.
You're a scholar. This is probably an interesting puzzle for you.
She cocks her head a bit and
So that's my body, and this is his body.
squints a little bit. And then you see, it's hard to tell what's happening. You're not, you don't spend a lot of time around a Kokra. Uh, but then she. I apologize. I'm sure you do not find the humor in it, but it reminds me of a tale I've read long ago of a rascally, rebellious young woman who felt she was being maligned by her cruel parents and was forced to live in the body of her father for 3 days. This is.
Uh,
But she sort of shakes and has a feathers ruffle a bit and clears her throat. Okay. You say this was a. What caused this? Uh,
Centaur, some sort of
He
spell
centaur. There was a
casting.
engaged the
handshake, and
Fae.
we were suddenly in each other's bodies.
the Fae. Sounds like something Tybalt would be have his hand in. Um, and Genesis, you would remember that Tybalt is the god of mischief. Uh,
Yeah.
well, never actually heard of this before, but perhaps I can do some research for you.
But I mean, we haven't tried it yet. But do you know of any uh good clerics here that could maybe try greater restoration? I don't know the spell myself.
I'm sure that the Temple of Ugma would have someone who would be able to do that for you. Kai Tiger Steel is a priest, our priest there, although I don't know how much the Lord Keeper has on hand. I'm sure they do have access to the spell if they don't know it themselves.
Well, we can certainly check, but we would still appreciate if you could, in the case that that doesn't work, if you could look into possible solutions or fixes to our problem.
It would be appreciated, that's for sure.
I know looking through books takes a bit, but do you have an idea how long it might take you to get even an idea of an answer? Like, is this going to be like a day thing, or is this going to be like we can take our entire trip to Cholton back before we get our answer?
This is when you're dealing with obscure information. The first person that is spoken to may know of this and have the answer, or it could search for 3 years and never know the answer. It, uh, uh, it is not something I've heard of before, so I wouldn't even know where to begin.
You have a Fey
Oh,
section?
Tusk, I
I,
consider you a good friend, but I would not want to be in your body for 3 years. That sounds awful.
As for your
yes.
travels, uh, I do not have I have a bad feeling about what's going on within this book. I would like to commence this trip as soon as possible. We do have a teleportation circle that we would use, the same one that she used to get you to the House of the All-Seeing Orb. Perhaps,
Oh, you have a teleportation circle to where she should be?
yes, the same one she took yesterday. Perhaps,
Oh,
tell you what, she sort of cocks her head and walks over toward the window. Uh, Give me until the noon hour. I will have to put my other research on hold, and she sort of eyes you all up and down. Says that scroll that you were using to enter would be payment for my research, if that is agreeable to you.
Yeah, no, Kissy doesn't care.
that
I
glances at
will.
Kithri, sees her look, is like, I think that'll look.
Hmm.
All right,
I
so
will add, I should like to take a look at that book.
Oh,
And
I thought
yes.
we were taking it with us.
see what we can see about that book.
she sends you all down to and back out to one of the larger, the first pillar, that the one that's right connected to where you enter through the wall, and there's a um, almost like a conference room, one small section along the outer wall, uh, and there are a long table in there with 12 chairs. You all have access to that room, and you are able to do some research. Is anybody else going to be doing anything while you're waiting besides her reading the book? Anybody else going to be reading the book with her?
Yeah, I will. I doesn't she want to go to the Temple of Agma?
We also want to go to the Temple of Agma, yeah. Genesis has all of, or I guess Tusk has all of the things that he wants to do. Uh,
We do want to check the temple, but we also should look through the book.
If there's some sort of ritual that is involving me, I would like to know about it.
Likewise. Look into the book first. We'll check in the temple afterwards. Or actually, I can go to the temple and just ask if they have the stuff while you read. Figure out what you can.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know where we're at. I guess if you want to take Piper with you and have him come back if you need me to come over there.
I'll just, yeah, sounds good. If anything, we'll just run over. Not too far.
I guess, yeah.
I promise not to crush you this time. I put
Please
Piper
don't.
on the shoulder.
He can always come back if he gets crushed, but
I'm like, what? The axes and the bracelet. I don't. Now I can lean against my shoulder and accidentally crush them anymore. See, it's all good. Just hope no lightning strikes come about.
That's right.
And I walk out.
All right, so the cover and the spine are made of thin crystal sheets with gems represent eyes embedded in them. Every so often, the eyes move, shifting their gaze around.
bruh,
The
that's fucking
book's
creepy.
pages are edged in protective crystalline finish and filled with a hurried, nearly illegible scrawl. There is a note that is tucked in an envelope that bears the seal of the House of the All-Seeing Orb that I shared with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned, about the last page, the book describes rituals relating to the creation of a mummy lord. There's one of the rituals is a unique and horrific process by which the mummy lord's organs, normally stored in sacred canopic jars, can be magically preserved and transplanted into living humanoids. The transplant recipients come under the control of the mummy lord, either as living supplicants or mindless golems. And if they're the golems, then the mummy lord can see and speak through them. The book also hints of a ritual that can free a servant after the mummy lord is destroyed. And the last pages of the book appears to be a list of those who have undergone this ritual to become the mummy lord's servants. And that includes your names and this Mayastan.
Interesting.
What the fuck? Guys, I do not like this.
I mean, I completely understand why they kind of went off to go discover what the heck's going on because I would too.
All right, so this is where we're gonna leave it. We'll
Bruh.
wrap it up a little early.
All right.
Next
Sven really
week,
came back into this campaign with a bang. Damn.
next week, we're going to be doing the monthly campaign. So uh, we will not be streaming, and then, but following week we'll be back with this, and then the following week after that we'll be doing Nick's campaign of awesomeness. So
Yeah.
stick around, come back, put it in your phones to come back and visit us at 6 o'clock Pacific time on Wednesday. 7 o'clock Pacific time on
7.
Wednesdays. Um, and don't forget, as Nick mentioned, if you don't remember what's going on or you want to find out how we got here, watch the videos. There are a bunches
We've
of
got
them.
a lot of them.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and whatever else you do. Enjoy the rest of your day. Say goodnight, guys.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Yeah.